Hi, and welcome back to my series on Braille, particularly Braille Contraction series. This is the fourth video on this series, and in this video, I'm going to share with you additional 4 strong contractions, namely the contractions for ED, ER, OU, and OW. These contractions are also called strong contractions, 2 with E and 2 with O. So the 2 with E there are the contractions for ED and ER, and the 2 with O are the contractions for OU and OW. So without further ado, let's get started. Let us quickly recall what a strong contraction is. Basically, a strong contraction is a contraction that has dots on the top and bottom rows of the cell, as well as dots on the left and right columns. If you can recall, in the previous videos, we had the 5 strong contractions and 4 of the and with, and also we had strong contractions with H, CH, GH, SH, TH, and WH. In this time, I'm going to feature the contractions for ED, ER, OU, and OW. These 4 contractions can be used as group signs, but 1 out of the 4 can be used as both group sign and a word sign, and that is the contraction for OU. Essentially, these 4 contractions are continuation of the strong contractions with H, but this time these contractions can be formed by adding dot 6 to the succeeding 4 letters after letter E. So if you recall, the contractions for CH, GH, SH, TH, and WH are derived from letters A, B, C, D, and E added with dot 6. This time, the contractions for ED, ER, OU, and OW are formed by adding dot 6 to letters F, G, H, and I. So let's move straight to each of these 4 strong contractions. First, we have the contraction for ED. This is represented by the dots 1, 2, 4, and 6. And as I said, this is derived from letter F with the addition of dot 6. Now, this contraction can only be used as a group sign, meaning it can only be used as part of a word. So let's take some examples on how this contraction ED is used as a group sign. So we have here the words editor, speed, weeded, edge, red, and median. Let's start with editor. So editor has 6 letters, EDITOR. As you write this word editor in or using grade 1 Braille, we make use of 6 cells. But this time, since we can contract the first 2 letters, which are ED, then we are now able to use 5 cells. Again, the contraction for ED has dots 1, 2, 4, and 6. So we write editor first with the contraction of ED, followed by I, T, O, and R. Next is the word speed. So here we have 5 letters, S, P, E, E, D. And the final 2 letters can be contracted because of the contraction of ED. So now we write speed with SPE and then the contraction of ED. Next we have weeded. That's spelled as WEEDED. Now this is a word with two EDs which we can contract. So instead of using 6 cells for 6 letters, we're now able to use 4 letters, namely WE, or that should be 4 cells. WE, the contraction for ED, written twice. Next, we have the word edge, EDGE. So we can contract ED and then followed by GE. Next, the word red, ED at the end, so R and then the contraction for ED. And then finally we have median, M, the contraction for ED, and then IAN. Next is the contraction for ER. This contraction can be represented with the dots 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. Now this is derived from letter G added with dot 6. Again, this contraction can only be used as a group sign, not as a word sign. Let's take some examples. We have the words erupt, clergy, fighter, error, gerund, gender. So let's have first erupt, spelled as ERUPT. So here we can contract the first 2 letters, which are E and R, using dots 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. So instead of using 5 cells, we're now able to use 4 cells. Next, clergy. ER is at, or the letters E and R are at the middle of the word clergy. So we can contract this. So we're now able to write CL, the contraction for ER, followed by GY. Next, we have fighter, FIGHTER. Now take note, we have 2 available strong contractions here, namely the contraction for GH and the contraction for ER. So remember, the contraction for GH is just letter B with dot 6. So instead of using 7 cells for fighter, we're now able to use 5 cells. So that should be FI, the contraction for GH, T, and then the contraction for ER. Next, error. So ER can be contracted and then followed by ROR. Next is gerund, ER at the middle of the word gerund. So G, contraction of ER, followed by UND. And lastly, gender, GEND, and then the contraction of ER. Now in the next succeeding videos, I'm going to feature the contraction for EN. But for now, I'm not going to use yet the contraction for EN. Next, let's have our third contraction, which is the contraction for OU. And in Braille, this is represented by the dots 1, 2, 5, 6. And this is derived from letter H with the addition of dot 6. Again, letter H with dot 6. Now, the contraction for OU can be used as a word sign and also as a group sign. So, as a word sign, it represents the word out, O-U-T. So let's have some examples for the contraction of OU as a group sign. So we have here the words outer, loud, and meow. Outer is spelled as O-U-T-E-R. O-U can be contracted using using dots 1, 2, 5, and 6, then followed by letter T and the contraction for ER. So here we're able to save 2 cells. Instead of using 5, we're now able to use 3 cells because we have 2 contractions. Next is the word loud. OU is at the middle of the word. So L followed by the contraction of OU and then letter D. And then we have the word meow spelled as M-I-A-O-U. So we write M-I-A and then the contraction for O-U. That's 1, 2, 5, 6. Now, let's have OU as a word sign. Again, OU standing alone can be read as the word out. So here we have a sentence. He is out. Period. So we write he is, and then for the word out, we don't have to write O-U-T. We just need to write the contraction for OU. So as a word sign, it represents the word out, then immediately followed by the period or the punctuation period. However, the word sign for OU or the word sign out cannot be used here in the word outside. So we have the second sentence, he is outside. The word outside there can be contracted using the group sign OU followed by T and then SIDE. So we cannot use there the word sign for out. I hope you got that correctly. Next, our last contraction here is the contraction for OW. And this contraction can be written using dots 2, 4, 6. So this is derived from letter I with the addition of dot 6. So OW has dots 2, 4, and 6. Now this contraction can only be used as a group sign, not as a word sign. So let's go straight to the examples. So we have the words owl, drown, row, bowl, snow, growth. So for the word owl, the first 2 letters there, O and W, can be contracted using the contraction for OW with dots 2, 4, 6 followed by letter L. For drown, we write DR and then the contraction for OW, then letter N. Then we have row, so that should be R followed by the contraction of OW. Then we have bowl, B, the contraction of OW, that is dots 2, 4, and 6, and then letter L. Snow, SN, and then dots 2, 4, 6, and lastly, growth. So here we have GR, then the contraction for OW, and TH can also be contracted because we learned in the previous video that TH is also it can also be contracted as a strong contraction with dots 1, 4, 5, 6. Now let's move to some key concepts and rules in using these 4 strong contractions. First, we have here the choice of contraction. Just like in the previous video where I emphasized that if we have the contraction for THE or the as a word sign, then it is preferred rather than using other contractions. For instance, if we have letters THE followed by D, so we have here there the contraction for THE and then ED, we we don't need to use the contraction for ED, rather we use the contraction for THE. And also for ER, say we have THE and then ER, or THE and R, we make use also of the contraction for THE. Simply because we can save more cells if we use the contraction for THE. So let's take some examples here. So we have the word cathedral, spelled as CATHEDRAL. So we have there in the middle of the word cathedral the letters THED. So if you notice, we can actually contract ED, but since we can save more cells in using the contraction for THE, then we go and use the contraction for THE. So that should be written cathedral, CA, the contraction for THE, and letter D, RAL. And then next is for the word lather, LATHER. So instead of using ER, the contraction for ER, we make use of the contraction for THE. So that should be written as LA, then the contraction for THE, followed by letter R. Another key concept or rule is that these group signs, all of the four strong contractions, which can be used as group signs, can be used in any part of the word. As you have noticed in the examples that I gave earlier, the contractions as group signs can be used in the beginning, middle, and at the end of the word. So with this, I hope you learned something from this video. If you do, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you, and God bless us all.